Most businesses think the more complicated that their funnel is, the more sales that they'll make, but sadly, it's often the complete opposite. Shelby has one of the simplest funnels that I've seen, but she converts a huge amount of her traffic. Yes, a funnel is important, but also the quality of the traffic landing on that funnel is arguably even more important. Let me show you how she's built her funnel and a few tweaks that she could make to make even more sales. Her funnel is laid out in the following fashion. You'll notice it's not massive, it doesn't have loads of links off to certain things, and it's not overly complicated. Adding more links and options often creates more overwhelm, and more overwhelm leads to less sales. At the top of her funnel, she has a countdown timer. As this is a live masterclass, Shelby is looking to get leads to join this call so she can essentially sell them. As this has a specific date, she then has a countdown timer, which creates urgency and a definitive deadline. She then has a clear call to action to RSVP for this masterclass. She then moves into a hero banner, making it clear that it's a free live masterclass. Essentially, she's using this as a lead magnet on the front end to get people onto the live masterclass so she can then sell them. So here's what works, and here's what she could potentially do even better. She has a strong headline, how to step into high ticket sales, and has a clear definitive outcome. She then has a call to action button that's really clear and visible, and it's a different color to all of the other things on her page. Yes, we want things to be branded, but we also want to maximize conversions, and chances are having a button that's an ugly color, a color that stands out in comparison to the rest of your page, will mean that conversions could be even higher. A few things that she could do better is she could add even more credibility. At this point, we can't see all of the results that she's achieved, or at least all of the thousands of people and brands that she's worked with. We don't want to smash loads of social proof this high up because we want to get the headline and subheading across, but we do want to add some credibility. So for example, a banner showing all of the people that she's worked with and the different brands that she's worked with too. Or alternatively, we could even have an image of her at one of the live events that she's spoken at. This would then back up more real student results and give people even more of an incentive to join the live masterclass. We then go into a section about you're going to learn all of this, so it's clear what people will learn off the back of this live masterclass. And we have to realize here that people are opting into something in a future time. It's not going to be instantly that they get access to it because it's live, it's not pre-recorded. So what we want to make sure is we want to make sure that we're selling everything that's involved, so we give them a reason to then join that call. We don't want them to just opt in and ghost. You'll then notice that all of the bullet points are benefit driven, so showing what's in it for them. Each bullet point has an icon that's a heart, it adds visual clarity and matches the brand vibe. However, some of these could be bolded to have key points that stand out. For example, there could be an overview of what each bullet point is with then a little summary beneath it. This would then make it really clear as to what's included. We have to realize that a lot of traffic will probably glance through this. They're not going to sit and watch it all and read through it all. So we want it to really stand out and allow them to skim read while still taking the value from it. We then move on to a section showing this is for you if, and this is not for you if. This ultimately is a self-qualification and helps filter out the right audience so she can make sure that the people that join the live masterclass are truly the people that she wants to be speaking to. It's relatable language, it's simple, and people can clearly understand it. And it's color-coded, so it's all on brand. However, what could potentially be done better is really highlighting the outcome that people want to achieve. So for example, the biggest motivator. So yes, learning a new skill is important, and yes, being a part of a community is important, but chances are people just want to escape their job and be earning X amount of income that they can earn from anywhere. So even though we're not putting a claim forwards, we could put a bit more of a tangible outcome that could potentially be achieved. This isn't a guarantee, but it's saying what some of her students have achieved and some of the people that have joined the masterclass before. Then in the This Is Not For You section, it disqualifies people so Shelby can make sure that the people on the call are the highest quality. The green is good color contrast, however, green is normally associated with good things rather than bad things. So yes, we want to keep this on brand, but the This Is Not For You If section could be red to highlight that it's not for you, or at least highlight the This Is For You section with a little bit more green, because at the minute it contradicts each other a little bit. I really like the icon to the turned on and turned off, so you can then see clearly if it is for you or it's not for you. We then move into an about section about Shelby. This then helps you understand the backstory behind Shelby, and chances are you probably have watched all of her content by this point, so you'll have been bought into her. However, it gets her authentic self across and makes her relatable. It then builds trust with references to brands that she's somewhat been associated with or has an audience on. However, you could add even more results or social proof with all of the students and brands that she's worked with to add even more credibility. In the final CTA section, we have It's Time to Live Your Dream Life. Join this free live masterclass. This is great as it's emotion-driven language, such as it's time to live your dream life. We have one clear step so that there's one clear outcome rather than confusion with multiple different options. In this case, join this free live masterclass. It's visually clean and calming and fitting the empowerment vibe. However, a few things to consider is you could consider adding scarcity here. Again, at the top, we have the countdown timer that creates urgency and scarcity. We could have that re-emphasized down at the bottom. Alongside that, we could then emphasize even more social proof and client results to make sure that they're not dropping off at the bottom because they don't think she has the credibility to help them. Alongside that as well, we could then change the color of this call to action button or have a little animation to make it stand out even more. She then has a footer with her terms of service and privacy policy. This essentially just helps from a legal background, but it doesn't distract from the main messaging. It's small, it's kept at the bottom rather than being overwhelming and pulling people's attention in because it doesn't give her anything apart from just making sure that she's abiding by the legal rules. So here's an overview of why the funnel works and a few things that could be done to improve it even more. It's a clean, calm design with clear audience targeting. It's clearly targeting women tired of a 9 to 5 looking for more. It's a simple but strong emotional journey from pain to possibility with the permission to dream. It's essentially giving them the realization that they can achieve what they actually want to. It has strong call to actions throughout, so people aren't then missing what the next step is that they need to take. A few improvements that could be made or ultimately tested, and a big thing with this is they could be split tested. I'm not saying change the whole thing, but instead test one thing at a time on split tests and then see which version performs better. With any funnel in your business, you should constantly keep split testing to then keep iterating it and making adjustments based on what the data is saying. So we could add a video or a live student testimonial above the fold for social proof. Above the fold is essentially a concept where a large amount of traffic will come from mobile. There will still be a little bit on desktop, but on both mobile and desktop, we want to make sure that before the user has to scroll, they see certain content. We could then include trust badges, for example, thousands of students served, or as seen on a specific brand. We could then make the sections a bit more interactive with animations to essentially make sure that the call to action buttons stand out even more. Alongside this, the call to action buttons could be a different color to make sure that they're not missed as well. Shelby already has an incredible brand and an incredible funnel, but those few changes would help her make even more conversions and maximize the traffic that she has flowing into her systems.